Hello, my name is Siaara Freeman, but I go by C. My pronouns are she, her, but I will answer to they, them. I am a 34-year-old Black woman of caramel complexion. I have a short, curly black bob and a beige cover up. My interpreter has brown, curly hair and is wearing a purple shirt. As a content notice, I would like you to know that this capsule contains references to the death of a parent and murder. I extend care towards you to choose if, when, and how to engage with this poetry writing capsule. In this poetry writing capsule, we will explore identity politics and self-care by creating a character who may have the words when we do not. Let's start with a check-in question. What is your favorite mythological creature, cryptid, or fairy tale character, and why? One more time. What is your favorite mythological creature, cryptid, or fairy tale character, and why? My favorites are sphinxes, sirens, and banshees. Banshee, the title of my first book, is the combination of the words urban and banshee. Urban meaning inner city, hood, and banshee being the creature of fae lineage in Irish folklore that warns families about the upcoming death of a loved one. Banshee is a character I created to assist me in coping and telling the story of my father's murder. Banshee is an alter ego of sorts, a Sasha Fierce, a la Beyonce, a character of my own creation, who in turn created more space for me to express myself. The first poem I will share is an excerpt from Susie Knuckles, a biography by Self Realizing. Susie Knuckles, a biography, AKA what happens when I'm supposed to be writing a paper. As the story goes, Susie Knuckles climbed out of a mirror, sat on the frame for years, swinging her legs, watching the comings and goings of the body she was about to furnish with her name. If the stories are to be believed, she had the smallest hands she had ever seen. And if the stories are to be believed, she had never met anyone other than her other selves. However, if the stories are not cheats and liars, she drank nothing but milk and ate nothing but chicken nuggets. And Susie Knuckles sat a while on the mirror's uncomfortable frame, the glass behind her a cool sheet of waterfall. Her hair is never combed, and she once invented an indifference so profound that she was bored for weeks. Another time, she thought of 100 mean jokes and waited patiently for the girl who owned the mirror to come calling so she could test them out. But the girl kept floating past the mirror without checking her reflection. "Your hair needs combing," Susie Knuckles told her, but she pretended not to hear, even though Susie Knuckles was quite obviously sitting there on the frame of the mirror, swinging her legs and cawing at the girl that her left eyebrow was crooked and her concealer was one shade too dark for her pre-tan breakout. And Susie Knuckles sat there and twiddled the thumbs of her tiny hands and kept her own company and kept her own secrets and kept all her jokes for herself and thought that if herself ever had a daughter and if her daughter got her little hands, she wouldn't be able to hold all the other things she stood to inherit. The second poem I will share is an excerpt from my poem. Banshee predicts the birth of Toni Morrison and writes her a letter. Banshee predicts the birth of Toni Morrison and writes her a letter. "I see you, sis, and I smile a lonely summer until the sun skims my skin like a softly wooded creek. Your light ripples like anything heavy and meaningful will, if given enough space, and the space you made felt like God's gap, black and lawless like dark roads winding through Ohio. I married myself once, and no one was there, Toni. No one gave me away. I did it alone and nightfuls, sorrow drunk and high off another day's regret, just waiting for the wind to laugh lightning bugs from all directions, swarming to form a person-sized jar that you know I gladly stepped into. The bugs remembered that I never once forgot to leave holes for air, and so they returned the favor, and the light licked me cleaner, glimmering bones, and a gown stitched in Hank's skin. I pulled the future over my body and let the snug turn to him. The hem turned to feathers, so there I was, molting on a disappearing bridge when my hymen broke. Your name rushed from my lips like a flooding river. There wasn't any blood I couldn't find use for. I went to Eve's bayou. I learned to spot snakes with flowers in their mouths. I made crowns of seaweed and learned the gossip of dead kingdoms and refused to die out without leaving something behind. I wanted children so bad that once I grew wood silent for about a week. Bluebells fancied themselves friends of mine. Fungi leached bruised milk from each breast. My nipples swole like leftover hearts. I want to tell you, I birthed something truly exquisite. A hummingbird with a jeweled song. Two scaleless dragons with smiles that leap like well-loved children, a sphinx so dark she had no choice but to become the riddle, a siren song, off-key and kinder for it. Midwest afternoons on a muddy bank, raining gritty memories. I named them all after you. Now, I would like to share a writing prompt with you, exploring these themes. Step 1, character building. I am going to read a series of questions. I will reread these questions again, but right now, please just think about them. Choose a cryptid, character, or creature and consider its known attributes. What about your creature is different? How does it use its power? What is its purpose? Who does it protect? Who protects it? If your character wasn't a character, what would it be? A long scream? Broken teacups in a mother's hands? The ghost of a child's laugh? I will now read these questions again and offer a pause after each one. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video and write down your idea. Choose a cryptid, character, or creature and consider its known attributes. What about your creature is different? How does it use its power? What is its purpose? Who does it protect? Who protects it? If your character wasn't a character, what would it be? A long scream? Broken teacups in a mother's hands? The ghost of a child's laugh? For step 2, you will rewrite one of your favorite poems. It can be your poem or a poem by someone else. Writing in the voice of your character. How does the language and the story change? Feel free to pause the video, take time to write, and go back over some of these questions. Now that we have established a voice, let's move on to step 3. Write a poem where your character introduces itself to you as a guide. Where is it taking you? What will you do there? What will you return with? I would like to thank Lavender from ProBono ASL for providing ASL interpretation. And I would like to thank all of you for joining me for this poetry writing capsule.